Go over this video here. This is a guy ranting and raving and complaining about marriage when, nothing's changed with marriage and he doesn't seem to know the rules, but whatever. And it's all women's fault and the feminists are killing marriage, whatever. Feminists are killing the world, whatever. We'll go through it and I'll tell you where he's wrong. But understand if you've ever put on content or if you've ever had a different opinion on like a women's issue, right? And you voice your opinion. Let's say Facebook. That's where I kind of go to war sometimes with some. I used to, not as much anymore, because it's not worth it. You'll get attacked by men. Those are the first people that attack you. Okay, so feminism wouldn't exist without men supporting it. So we're our own worst enemy. Feminism will continue to exist because you'll always have white knights out there that will attack the hell out of you when you criticize women. Now, I think men need to solve their own problems. Understand the game you're in. It's not women's fault. We're all just playing the game. No one, we just got to understand what strategies should we use. Like if the World Cup's going on, the other team's faster. Okay, do we need to establish faster defense? Whatever. Do we need to have more attackers? Or, the best offense. What best defense is a good offense? Whatever. But anyway, my point is you got to understand the game you're in and then play accordingly. You cannot complain. Teams can complain. Let's say in the World Cup again. Oh, we're losing. Doesn't matter. You're still going to go home. You got to understand the game you're in and adjust accordingly, adapt and overcome. All right, let's go in and see what's going on here. It's about marriage.
Why would any rational, disciplined man sign a contract where the other party can break it whenever they feel like and still legally take half of your life's work?
I'll tell you why. Because 80% of the world, or 80% of men, are beta males. Marriage is a beta male institution, okay? And men, and I was guilty of this when I was a beta before I killed it, but we love to think that we finally, got a woman that's so hard to get them. Oh boy, because we're betas. I killed that beta a long time ago and became a player. But I'm sure more, people have done better than me, but I definitely, did okay myself. But, and I like that life a lot better. But yeah, freedom. We want freedom, but beta males want to ensure I got a woman inside my house that is guaranteed to have sex with me the rest of my life. And I don't have to get out and be out here trying to get one woman to suck my D, for 2 years I've been trying to get my D sucked, and finally some chick came around and smiled while she did it, and I didn't have to pay for it. Well, I did have to pay for dinner, but I didn't have to actually pay for the D suck, it's because it's a soul sucking life if you don't kill that beta, and 80% of men are beta. So that's why they created marriage. It used to be all the badasses. The kings and the powerful people and the aristocrats had all the ladies. And then the betas were like, you know what? Let's get these chicks to stick with us the rest of our life. And we can say it's better for the kids. Yeah. Because why would a player who can bang, lots of different women, why would he want to be stuck with a chick? But a beta who takes a year to get a girlfriend, 2 years to get a girlfriend, he's going to be like, hell yeah, it took me 2 years to get my D sucked. That's why, sir. It ain't the women's fault. No one put a gun to the man's head saying, you got to get married. Trust me.
That's insanity. That's crazy.
And yet, men, these betas, it's not crazy when you really think about it. These betas do it. I think it's stupid. But these betas are going to continue to do it.
Because in the United States, 40 to 50% of all marriages end in divorce. So that's not rare. That's a coin flip.
Yeah. But when that girl is sucking a D and smiling at you and you're not having to pay for it, and you're a beta male, like I said, 80%. Okay, so 80% of your country, let's just say the United States, 80% of the men in the United States are beta males, right? So 80% of the men in the United States are probably going to want to get married. So let's just say 40% of that age, I mean half, whatever. That's a lot of people that want to get married, and it's even more than that. But they think their woman's different. We all believe it, Women are good at playing the game, smiling, sucking that D real good. You've never had that D sucked in 2 years. And she's going after it. She's working hard for it. And then once you get married, boom, done. Okay? And it's not that she played a game on you. It's that she thought she could do it too. The women aren't bad. They're not. She thought that she could take a guy who she wasn't really into, but was nice and cool, but she wasn't really aroused by, because the real guy she was aroused by dumped her, and as a player, okay? There's someone in her life that she really liked, right? But you were nice. And you were really caring. And you were really thoughtful. And, you were really rich. Or you had some money. And she thought she could do it with you. But the drive of JJ just ain't gonna work for you. It's just so dry all the time. And so she realizes, I cannot do this. Women don't realize how much they're controlled by their sexuality, and they don't realize they have a dual mating strategy. And a woman's always going to go find the alpha bang. So quit being the beta male provider. I say that, but those are the ones. That's 80% of men that want to be married. So you ranting and raving on here ain't going to change betas from wanting to get married, and it ain't going to change women either. Women don't listen to what we say, and that's no problem. But you trying to get a woman to listen to us, especially when we're ranting and raving, they definitely ain't gonna listen.
And here's the part that young men need to choke on. Nearly 70% of all divorces are initiated by women.
You know what? You think the red pill space has been saying that for years, right? And I used to think that was good. That was a good stat. Like, look at this, look at. And it got me a little red pill raging for a little bit, but then you start thinking about it. Who wants to stay married? Beta males. Why would a guy want to get back out there and take another 2 years, lose half his stuff because he knew the rules. You knew the rules when you got involved in this. This ain't that they didn't just create. Everybody knows. He's talking about it right here. Everybody knows you're gonna give up half your stuff, and it's not wrong to give up half your stuff because we'll get into that later. But So yeah, men are too lazy to get back out. If you were a woman and you could go have 10 guys at your beck and call, betas or not, it doesn't matter. Women don't have a scarcity mindset. Men do. So men stay married. You're making your necessity your virtue, and it's not a virtue. Men are trying to be they're necessitous. They need a marriage to keep the woman, so they don't want to be not married or unmarried. They don't want to be divorced because they know how hard dating's going to be. But you're making it sound like it's a virtue. Women are like, you know what? This clown, I don't like him. I haven't liked him for a long time, and he doesn't get it that I haven't banged him in like 3 years, and I get mad about his breathing around me. And I complain about everything. I nag him about where he put. I've been involved in that when I was big beta. They nag where you put the trash and how you clean the dishes. They're trying to tell you break up with me, but men, we're stubborn. We're like, you know what? I was there. I've been there. I know this. I know the strategy. I'd rather be with this loser than try to go find another loser. Because I didn't have enough self-esteem, and so many guys out there are. I was brave enough to say it. I was brave enough to tackle that issue and kill that beta in me.
Think about that. Most men aren't walking away. They're being removed from the deal. And when that happens...
Do you really want a woman to stay with you that don't like you? She didn't like you when she got married to you. She thought she could do it. She thought you could make her wet. You can't. You're not doing it for her. And it's not going to work. She doesn't like you anymore. So you want her to stay? No. What men have to do is understand the game. Only be with first of all, become an alpha bang guy, the dual mating strategy. Figure out what that is. You can watch some of my content and figure out what an alpha bang guy is. Alpha F's, beta bucks. Alpha F's, beta bucks. Alpha bang, beta bucks. Is she making rules for you or is she breaking rules for you? Because there's a guy out there that she'll break rules for. Okay?
It doesn't ask any questions. It doesn't investigate effort. It doesn't audit behavior. It just says, cool, split it. Half the house, happy.
Well, what is the proper way to split it? What is it? You know, there's rules. By the way, there's rules and laws in divorce court. Go get you good. But here's the thing: let's say that your wife is working at Exxon and you get married, and they're gonna say it's for the kids, and now you're a team. Okay, someone has to pay for someone has to pay, right, for the household. If your wife stays home and you say, hey, you know what, you stay home, I'll go to work, and she stays home for 10 years, yet she takes care of your kids, allows you to work overtime, allows you to go on business trips, allows you, that's allowing you to do a lot of things, and she's taking care of your kids. I'm just saying, what's the proper compensation? She can't just be left out in the cold. She agreed as a team to allow you to go to work. She allowed you to do many things. Maybe go get your master's degree and get a higher status in your job. Whatever. But just because that's why we have these marriage laws. But whatever. I'm just saying there's more than just she took half my stuff and they're having whatever.
Half your retirement, sometimes your future earnings, sometimes limiting access to your own kid.
Okay, but listen, none of this is a secret. Beta males, we tend to think with our D's. We want to get better. It's food, air, water, food, sex. That becomes way more important than all this other stuff you're talking about. And the contract is there. All the rules haven't changed in 50 years, except maybe no fault divorce. But okay, so we're gonna make women stay with us, and no, come on. But none of the rules have changed. This is not new information.
All because you signed a piece of paper that assumed that everybody in the relationship would behave forever. That's crazy.
Yeah. This is not a secret. I don't get what you're mad about, sir. We all went on a promise. She said her vows and you said your vows, and that was supposed to be a promise. They didn't put the gun to your head. I don't know what you're mad about, dude.
Marriage is the only contract on planet Earth where the person who breaks it can be rewarded more than the person who upheld it.
Yeah, right. So you betas, you might want to go be a player, but you got to work to be a player. You got to work to be a player. You wanted that promise to have, lifetime sex in your house. You thought doesn't that sound good? Didn't dating apps sound good? But there's hidden costs that come with all that stuff.
You don't get a paycheck. Breach a business deal, you get sued. You walk away from an investment, you eat the law.
And yet people will still be getting married. You ain't gonna tell. These betas are still gonna get married because they don't like to date. They don't want to do the work to date. Trust me.
But marriage, you can leave and still send the man the bill. Now, I already hear outrage forming in the minds of women.
Before we get into the outrage of the minds of women, let's make this make sense, right? I am an advocate for people that get married, especially if you decide to have children, because statistically, we know that children that are raised in a two-parent married household have a greater chance of success.
You don't have to get married for that. That's beta males trying to find a reason to get a woman in the house to have sex with you forever. Let's just say let's say you had a kid, okay? And you both lived in separate houses, but you loved each other, and you still were gonna, invest in the kid. You could do that if you wanted to make it all about the kid. Like if this is really about the kid, right? You could live separately and make sure that your kid is looked after. I'm just saying. Now, beta males are going to say, I'm doing it for our kid. But the woman don't want to be with you. Women do not want to be with beta males. I don't know what I got to tell y'all. Do you want a woman to be with? Oh, we're doing it for. So now I'm raising a kid in my house with a woman that hates me. Do you know how miserable you're going to be? I mean, women don't like the guys they're marrying because the guys are beta males. That's the problem. That is the problem.
So that is a situation where you are bringing people into this world that didn't ask to be here. You have to put them in the best position possible. All right. So
you got to stick with people. You have to be people you don't like. I mean, women are run by their feelings. Women do not love you. They love the way you make them feel. Let me say that one more time. Let me say it a little slower. Women do not love you, and they never will. They love the way you make them feel. So if you don't make them feel your presence, if they don't feel aroused, if they don't feel good around you, if they don't get a feeling around you, if they get a disgusting feeling around you, then that's what they're going to feel. If they get a great feeling around you, that's what they don't love. They don't love like men do. They don't love like they love their kids. Women love the way you make them feel as a man. So if she doesn't like the way you make her feel, you're done. Why stay married? You're going to be with a shrew.
However,
but you'll have great kids. You'll never get banged by her ever again. Marriage
has become a business and an institution. Even when you look at family court laws, and it's becoming harder and harder for me to.
And when has a man ever logicked or reasoned a woman into bed? When do women ever listen? They don't listen to logic and reason. You guys are trying to get women to stay with us through logic and reason. They don't give a fuck. Women go on their feelings. They're not going to give a fuck. They're going to keep if you keep getting married to them, they're going to keep leaving you because they don't like you. And they should.
For future generations. Why is that? Because we now have evidence. We now can source through and look at the stories and the conversations from different men, and we don't have to necessarily suffer through it yourself for you to realize that if you, at the very minimum, does not have a prenuptial agreement, and a prenuptial agreement exists for you and for them, it protects both of you guys, and it clearly outlines what happens in the.
But to get a prenuptial agreement, you got to have leverage. And a lot of these, I hate to say it, but a lot of these beta males are just glad to have a woman that's wanting to suck their D for the rest of their life, or at least he's saying she does, and she ain't going to sign that damn thing. And he's like, all right, cool. I'm just saying, she ain't going to, okay, then, all right, we're going to start doing prenuptial agreements. You know what's going to happen? The women they're going to go, you know what? I wasn't going to stay with you forever. I mean, they're not going to get married to you. And the problem is 80% of men are beta males, and you guys aren't realizing that. That's the problem. That's the problem with dating right now. That's the problem with everything. And it's only getting, because women now have choice, and they don't. Back in the day when marriage was a more popular institution, beta males could get married. Beta males could have women, but they were in sexless marriages. Now they're just in sexless rooms by themselves in their basements. Okay? That's the problem. Okay? Now we can maybe get to 30% men are alpha males and 70% men are beta males, but it is what it is. I don't know if maybe we can try to get more men to kill the betas, but you try to help, and men don't want to be helped. Some don't want to be helped. That's the problem, guys. Not enough guys kill the betas in themselves. And they want to go with the easy route.
that you guys decide to get a divorce. And I need y'all to understand this because other cultures have this, practice it. It is not just for...
Why do you think other cultures, let me tell you why other cultures have. Because in the other cultures, anytime you have a culture in where you're more in a survival mode, meaning, hey, if I don't have a man around, I can't afford, or if I don't have a man around, it's more primitive, okay? But in a first world country like the United States, they don't need a man. They can outsource everything a man does. They can outsource it. In other countries, let's say maybe in some continents like Africa, or maybe more, just where they need, and again, not only there, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, where you're going to have more patriarchal, societies, you need men to get stuff done. So that's where marriage, but not in the Western world, in Europe and in America, they don't need men. It can be outsourced.
That has a significant amount of resources.
This is all bullshit.
It clearly outlines what happens so that you don't get in any trouble. All right?
To negotiate with somebody, Anton, let me tell you something. You have to have leverage. It's called leverage. And if you're a beta male and you have no leverage, if she doesn't want to be with you, and she only wanted to be with you because because you have stuff to give her, like cash, then she's not going to do the damn thing for you. If a woman doesn't respect you enough to, change on her own, you think, you have to have leverage, just like a policeman, Why would stop doing that? Oh, yeah? Why? Because I'll put you in jail. Okay, he's got leverage. I mean, I just saw you break the law. You got leverage now. If you don't have leverage in a situation, you can't make rules. And most men don't have leverage in any of their relationships with women. They say, oh, give her respect. Don't let her say that. Check that girl. They can't check a girl. She'll take off. Try to check a chick in a marriage. She'll take off because they don't like you enough.
Now that we got that out of the way, marriage has become an institution to ensure that judges have jobs, lawyers have jobs, billions of dollars.
So this is the evil conspiracy of judges, the state. No. Beta males still are gonna want that promised sex for the rest of their life. No one's putting a gun to anybody's head to get married. And yet men, I know marriage is down, but still it's running hot and heavy. It's still running hot and heavy. There's still thousands and thousands of men getting married. Those family courts are full. They're full. Because men will always want that guaranteed pussy in their house. They think it is. They believe the bullshit. Oh, these judges, watch out for the state. They're out here to take your money. Dude, men are doing it to themselves, dog.
Every single year flows through the state.
And
it doesn't benefit
the government.
either party because usually the woman suffers. Even though she's taking him to the cleaners, it creates a bitter situation, and it's not necessarily beneficial for both parties. And it could take you thousands, if not hundreds of thousands.
So let me tell you how you solve this. You become an alpha bang guy, and you marry a woman who's aroused by you, has genuine burning desire for you, and everything is solved. You become the alpha bang of the dual mating strategy. Learn this. If you're going to be the beta male provider, she'll run all over you because she doesn't respect you. She doesn't like you. You are a plus one. You have to have extra. But if you're an alpha bang guy, dual mating strategy, go look at my other videos. But a lot of guys don't like to learn. I'm just saying.
And depending on how much money you have and where you filed it, maybe even millions of dollars that goes into the system, that goes into lawyers.
Well,
and depending
it's a
on
conspiracy.
how old the person is, usually the woman, because as he indicated, over 70% of divorces are initiated from women. And although you can tweak that number a little bit because some people can justify it and say, well, you were already checked out.
No, because men will just stay. Exactly. It's not you were already checked out. Men will stay forever. Trust me. Women make men break up. And anyway, if they initiated a divorce, that means they don't like you. A woman doesn't initiate a divorce until she's like, fuck this. Fuck this loser. And I've been there. I've been the fuck this loser guy. You have to check. You have to understand the game you're in. What do you want? You want the women to stay with you that are already not banging you?
And so forth. Instead of people working through it, working on it, and working through
No, you don't. No, you don't work through it. No. Because then you're rash. You can't. Well, you go get marriage counseling and beg the woman to like you more. I mean, come on. The only way for a woman to like you more is for you to become more fuckable. That means get your ass in the gym, get a mindset where you have leverage, get to where she respects you and your decision making, to where she's afraid you're gonna leave. But if a woman's not afraid you're gonna leave, you have no leverage. She wants to go.
they decide that they want to divest themselves even when the children are young, and then they use that as leverage or an opportunity to then screw the other person, and then it creates a bitter situation, which then you can make the argument and say, well, why would...
No, women stayed as long as they could to your dumb ass. Why would you want someone to stay with you that don't like you anymore? Oh, work with me. Try to stay with me. No. No, men are marrying women that don't like them and they don't realize it. Man,
in the first place. Now, I will say that there are some benefits, significant benefits, but it only matters if you're equally yoked. It only matters if both people are going to uphold it. And the problem with that is, statistically speaking, you have a greater than 50% chance of getting divorced.
Why do women clown the guys usually in custody battles and all? Why do they clown them? Because you beta and they don't respect you. You never commanded respect from that woman. If a woman cannot like you and hate your ass, hate your guts, but still respect you and still work with you, with the kids and everything, because she respects who you are. But if she doesn't respect you and you were a clown to her the whole time, that's why these guys get clowned on.
And even though those people can't get a divorce, there's a ton of men that are in sexless marriages. There's a ton of people that don't see eye to eye. And there's
Women fuck guys they like. Let me tell you right now, women love sex. And they fuck guys they like. They don't fuck guys they don't like. So if they don't like you, you gotta let them go. They're telling you, oh, they're weaponizing you. No, they don't like you. Because if they liked you, they'd bang you. Women can, and once again, women can hate you, but still think you're damn sexy as hell and fuck the shit out of you.
people that then have problems going forward. However, we are still pushing it. Why are we pushing it? Again, because I think that it's beneficial for the children, but also it's an institution.
Because we're beta. You're betas. You want the betas to win. You're a beta too.
It is an institution, and that is the problem. Because marriage traditionally would have been great for families. We've had a stronger structure, better opportunities to build wealth together, ensuring that the children are taken care of.
Are we trying to logic this to women? Like, who are you talking to? You're talking to men right now. Women ain't gonna, dude, this is wah, 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 Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. Dude, women don't listen to none of it. It's a 14% increase and 13%. You know how I know? It's because I made that mistake. Try to reason with women. They do not care about facts, figures, and statistics. They care about, my vagina's getting a little wet. I like this guy over here.
And now, unless you are spiritually connected and you're doing it also for religious reasons, unless you also looking at it from a business perspective, if you're only looking at it...
Go watch my video. Malcolm X was red pill before red pill was red pill. The church girls were having more sex than the prostitutes were.
Lens, then I hate to say it, you might be in a little bit of trouble. And you have to be very, very careful. When I say very, very, I mean very, very careful of the person that you decide to take vows with.
Yeah.
Because it is, like he said, the only contract that makes it difficult for you to be able to move a certain type of way.
So how do you be careful? You make sure you're the alpha bang. You make sure you're the alpha widow of her life. You make sure that her vajayjay gets very wet. You make sure that you're her fuck buddy for at least 6 months prior to even going on a date. Because she just loves banging the hell out of you. You got to be that guy, and it's hard to be that guy, I understand.
You're not the person that initiated it and you are upholding it, and you don't want to get divorced. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen it with celebrities. We've seen it every day with people telling their stories. And I would even go so far as to say it's a lot of women that don't want men to tell their stories because they don't want that a part of the narrative, and they do want to continue to get the contract.
Women don't care. Yeah, sure they do. Women don't care. Dude, women can throw that pee around if they want to. Women don't want to be married. They don't want to be married. They say they do, they don't. Come on. Don't believe what they say. Watch what they do. And if women wanted to get married, they throw that ass around to beta males. There's plenty of beta males. Dude, go into any thirst trap and look at these simps in these thirst traps. It's sickening. 500 guys telling a woman how good she looks.
Are in it just for the ring or to brag to their friends that they get married, and they don't even understand what marriage is about. And there are no wives because there are no virgins, and there are no people that actually understand what marriage is about nowadays. And grandmama is only 30.
If he stopped doing what he did in the beginning? What if he cheated? What if he emotionally checked out? Cool, but let's stop pretending this is a one-sided fairy tale. It takes two people to tango. Let me ask you a question. What did you do to make him stop wanting to
No, that's not true. That's not true. He didn't stop wanting to. Is that she used her strongest age? See, sir, let me explain this. Mr. Yell at the camera. She realized women know this, right? Their strongest agency is their sexuality. And she used it to get you. Okay? And she jumped on that D and she acted like she was riding it like she stole it, and she was bending it over, letting you slap that butt, letting you pull that hair. She was, yelling like she was having 18 orgasms, but she probably had none. She was doing performative sex, acting like, and you never seen this out of her. You never seen how good this lady was, loving how you were doing her. She was working for the paycheck, that marriage contract, and she got it. And once she got it, you weren't arousing her. She was performing for you. Women can be very performative in sex. Okay? And so, yeah. And once you got married, she realized, you know what? I'm not aroused by this guy, and that's why so many women cheat. They're going to find an alpha to bang, and you ain't it.
When did sex turn into a weapon instead of connection?
Oh my God, what a beta. It's not connection. You think women are connected through sex? No, they only have sex if they like that, if they feel good having it with you. Women bang players like crazy. If a guy's hot, what's that? Eyes Wide Shut. Oh man, that power. That's the whole movie. The scene. She's married to Tom Cruise, and they're smoking that weed. Go watch that movie. I need to do it. Go, and she's saying, you know what? There was this hot dude. She goes, I almost risked everything because this guy was so hot that walked into the hotel lobby. Yes, she said, I love my husband. I love my child. But that guy was so freaking hot, I wanted to bang him. So they don't do it for connection. Women don't need connection. You believe that shit? That's your own damn fault. Women wrote that narrative for you so you'd believe it. These beta males, I need connection first. They tell beta males that. Players know. Players don't play like that. Women don't need connection to have sex. Why do you think there was a hookup culture for women? You think on Tinder they were connecting? No, they were going over to the dude's house and banging Alpha Chad in 5 minutes. Trust me, I did that plenty.
Respect turn into constant nagging.
Women nag guys they don't like. They're trying to get you to, number one, they're disgusted by your behavior because they think you're a clown. And women nag guys, it's a defense mechanism to let guys know, I don't like you. And it's passive aggressive because they're saying, look, can't you tell I don't like you? I'm going to sit here and nag you because I think you're a loser. and I think that I'm in danger around you. And I'm not being. This is evolutionary psychology. Women need men for protection, and men. That's why men always need to be showing masculinity and strength. Okay, and when women don't feel protected and secure, they want you gone because they feel in danger. So they nag you. Because if they directly told you that they don't like you anymore, you might kill them back in the day. So they've learned to be passive aggressive, and that's nagging. It's like, hey, dude, I don't like you. Break up with me, please. But men are like, oh, I don't know why she's nagging me. You didn't learn the rules.
Become entitled. When did he go from being
They're not entitled. They're trying to piss you off to break up with them.
a man to being behind the kids, the dogs, your phone?
Oh, what do you think that is? What do you think that is? That's no respect. That's I don't like you. That's I think you're a clown. That's I thought you were a clown already. That's because you conceded so many times because you have no leverage. You can't tell this woman to do one damn thing or she'll leave you. And you know this. So yes, huh? You don't want to fight her. You're too pussy to tell her what to do. Okay, all right, all right. Death by 1,000 concessions, and you get put. When a woman has no respect for you, she treats you just like that. You become the last thing she worries about, and you're on here doing crap like this, yelling at your camera on TikTok.
Crazy moods. When did you stop serving this relationship?
I'll go even further.
When she decided she didn't like you.
You start taking advice from single women on TikTok and Instagram on whether or not you should get divorced. I even see women now.
Don't worry about it. They won't listen to those ladies that they love banging you. They won't listen to those because those women were also married to beta males. And they're like, okay, I can leave. You know what? But if they're married to it, dude, watch a woman. Look, how many times has a woman been with some alpha loser and everyone's telling her, just leave the guy. And she gets beat up by the guy and she still comes back. He's a felon. Go look at my Jeremy Meeks, hot felon, you know? I mean, Wade Wilson, hot felon, you know? Everybody, and that girl said, everybody was telling me to leave him. And she wouldn't leave him. But when you beta, she doesn't need much of a reason to leave. She just wants to look for one.
Talking about they want to divorce their man because they don't think that he's taking it serious enough about the ICE protests. I'm like, what? Y'all getting divorced over ICE protests? That's a new one.
Just think you're just going to kick back and collect all the benefits.
Yep.
When he quietly became the provider, the protector, the fixer, the emotional punching.
Yeah, so provider, protector, that's the beta male provider, right? You need a +1. Women don't find a beta male provider in the dual mating strategy. I'm trying to explain this to you guys. And I want everyone to learn. In the dual mating strategy, the beta male provider is not seen as arousing. Women need arousing. They don't love you. They love the way you make them feel. That means you have to be the alpha fucks, not the beta bucks.
Fucking ATM. Well, you brought nothing but expectations.
Because that's all you were. Because most guys are lazy. And most guys try to buy women's affection and say, look what I got. And that's what we were told. Go get him, Johnny. You succeed, Johnny. And if we buy men stuff and we buy our friends stuff, they like us more. But we don't understand with women and sexuality, it's not about buying them stuff. Yeah, they like it. But go look at my channel. How many men have been murdered as beta male providers?
And then you wonder why it failed.
He cooking.
No man wakes up one day and says, I think I'm going to blow up my family today.
He cooking.
They drift after.
No. They didn't learn the rules, so they blew up their family. They tried to be a beta male provider, and they didn't learn the rules and evolution. They didn't go read any books. They weren't taught right. You know, why do my eyes hurt? Because you never used them before. It's been right in front of your face. They break rules for alphas. They make rules for betas. When you're the beta male provider, they have no respect for you, and they'll clown the crap out of you. Go look at the content on my channel. Many men have fallen victim and murdered because they were the beta male provider, and they went off and banged and married the alpha bang guy. It's that important. It is that important.
Respected. They shut down after being.
Get off of TikTok. Stop yelling at your camera. Learn the rules. See, this is what I don't like about it. This is why I get upset about it, because he's all the betas are gonna go, yeah, he's cooking, dog, yeah, he's cooking. No, if you're just sitting here ranting and raving, and you guys are having a circle jerk together, yeah, but women ain't gonna change. Learn the game. Women ain't gonna change. Women are gonna see this guy and call him a clown. Okay? They're not going to change because this guy's ranting and raving. Now, a beta male might go, yeah. And some grifter chick might go, yeah, he's right, and blah, blah, blah. And some, anyway.
Utility instead of a man. And instead of self-reflection, the story's always the same. I wasn't happy. I deserved more. I outgrew him.
Women need a reason. Again, you don't understand women. Women are reputation managers. Why do they say that the man cheated all the time? Because it sounds better. It protects their reputation. Do they want to say, well, I got married to him. I didn't really like him. His D was small. I didn't like sucking it much, but he had a lot of stuff, and he was a really nice guy, and I thought I could deal with the little dick he had. I mean, seriously. I didn't like his little dick. He couldn't work it. He never made me come. And so, no, they say the excuses they can make it a lot worse. Women can be a lot meaner and talk about how little your dick is. I'm serious. And talk about how you can't use it right. Like, trust me. And there's Alpha Tyrone and Alpha Chad out there that can use it right, and she wants to go back with them.
Funny how
emotionally intelligent. He doesn't see me.
Accountability evaporates right when the system rewards an exit. And that's the real issue. The system doesn't care who stops showing up. It doesn't care who with.
Doesn't matter. So what it doesn't. So you know the rules. Go play. Go play. Doesn't matter. She stopped showing up because she never liked you. Here's how you stop this from happening, gentlemen. You make sure the woman likes you. You make sure that you are her alpha bang. You make sure that you're not her beta male provider. You make sure that you looks max. You make sure you get your alpha mindset on point. You make sure that your mind and your identity and you're dominant. You're direct. You're goal oriented. You don't take crap from nobody, including women and your wife. And if a chick pisses you off within the second week, no matter how good she's sucking your D, you say, get the hell out of here. Treat me like that.
Intimacy. It doesn't care who poisoned the household. It just redistributes asset.
No, if a man's leading correctly, she can't poison the household. But she was the leader of that house. Man, Dude, when there's a breakdown, when there's a weak man, and there's a beta male in the room, there's chaos just like this. Poison, the house is going to crap. Trust me, I've been there when I was a beta.
And moves the on. That's not partnership, that's legal roulette. So read your contract, understand the incentives, and stop.
It hadn't changed in 50 years, the contract. And you ain't gonna talk no man that hadn't got his D sucked in 2 years. And he just got some champion dick sucking. And he's going, good night, will you marry me?
Tradition with intelligence. Because if it's a bad deal on paper, it's a bad deal in real life. And men are finally waking the up and asking the only question that matters. Why in the would I ever sign that?
No, women want their freedom. They don't care. Like, they trust.
He's saying anything crazy. I think that he's spot on. I think that a lot of guys probably are waking up. I think that guys need to be woke, and you can't just throw the incel or oh man.
All right, I'll leave it right there. We'll see you on the next one.